YouTube support is here. Oh my God. For YouTubers. Man. I don't want to say this is all thanks to Grade A Under A, my pal, with his Make YouTube Great Again campaign, but it was seen. That made an impact with the what was it, president of YouTube saying, "Hey, we hear you loud and clear. We have to look into this shit." And that was a few months back, and they're doing something to help out YouTubers. Because remember, the bullshit Content ID claims that were happening with companies that claim shit that they don't even claim, which is insane, and they don't get penalized for doing that, screwing over YouTubers, false copyright strikes, DMCA takedowns that should never have happened at all. So they're coming out with, I love this, a YouTube partner support team. Hey, I'm not saying I'm going to take credit for this, obviously not. But I always said you needed start with like at least a 20-person team that could work with YouTubers, support them in some way, real people to get in touch with. Because we talked about Doug Walker having a pretty big YouTube channel that couldn't even get like an email response from anyone when he had his issues months and months back about copyright claims and strikes. And again, I'm not taking sides with anyone when it comes to these strikes or claims. Overall, there could be some that, you know what, maybe it wasn't fair use. But at least now you have a way to work it out and talk to someone and get support. So they've announced it. That if you have at least 15,000 watch time hours in the past 90 days, you can get help directly from the support team. That makes sense. You got to filter out, I hate to say it, you have to filter out the smaller channels. Because, first of all, they can be bothering the support team over bullshit issues. But second of all, they don't have nearly as much to lose as someone with a channel where that's either their livelihood or something they do full time, where a strike can basically cost them a hell of a lot more than someone with a smaller channel. But you got to start somewhere, and this is a good way to start. You got to have some sort of threshold. And 15,000 watch time hours in the past 90 days, that's not a huge YouTuber. I have to check my stats. That's probably lower medium or medium, I think. Or probably even lower, but lower medium, we'll just say. So they're going to have a YouTube partner support team. There's a picture of 10 people here. So not the 20 I suggested, but 10's better than nothing. And they'll be available to you if you meet that criteria. And they're all around the world. It's not just, so time zones won't matter as much. And they're going to be able to help you optimize how you use YouTube. Maybe help you with SEO. Get tips on technical or service aspects. Learn to navigate policy and copyright guidelines. Ding, 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 ding. Yay! Something reasonable that we can ask for. It won't break the bank, Google. You can do this for us. You can hire 10, 20 people, like I suggested. Get answers on accounts, channel management, and Google Plus questions. Troubleshoot and fix bugs or issues with your account. Resolve content ID and rights management issues. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. So yeah, if you want to see if you qualify, you gotta go into your YouTube analytics, put on your estimated hours watched, and then put it for the last 90 days in your filter and see. So you can contact them. I think they're gonna have a probably a phone number, but at least an email to get in touch, and a real person. So that's the first good news with this program. That's the first good news. This is more important, or just as important, and something that has been talked about before as common sense. Why aren't you doing this? Google/YouTube. So Google support came out with something to say that it used to be that any asshole could say, "Oh, I own this content." Could be blank noise, for God's sake. Or I own part of this song because I uploaded it into the Content ID system and now I'm claiming this video. So what happened before was the moment that someone rightly or wrongly claimed a video, which means you are claiming part of that video's content because of the ID copyright, whether it's it could be music, it could be video, it could be a picture, it could be a trademark used, and that could be automatically flagged or even manually flagged. What would happen was all the revenue from that video at that point would go to that third party that claimed it, rightly or wrongly, until the dispute was worked out, which means you have all these content ID trolls and companies that could go out, see a big video, getting 1 million views, or on its way to getting 1 million views, and basically steal their ad revenue until it's worked out. And if they don't, and if they're in the wrong and do it, they still have like 30 days. Because if there's a counterclaim, it's like they have like 30 days through the whole process to respond unless it gets expedited. So they're like, yeah, so what? So what? So what? It gets dropped. I got the revenue for 30 days, which a lot of time in a video, that's the vast majority of revenue on a video is in the first 30 days. So that's a big, big gaping loophole that was getting just abused by assholes out there. Just awful. But no more. No more, because they're going to roll out, finally, the answer, which will be to put that revenue, any dispute that happens for Content ID, put that revenue at that point until the dispute is worked out into an escrow of sorts that no one has. The original content creator doesn't have it, and the third party doing the claim doesn't have it. So the video will still make money, but that money will go into an escrow of sorts until it's worked out. And then at that point, whether the third party claim is correct, then the third party will get that revenue, or if it's not, it goes back to the original person. Right? That sounds great. Not sure why that wasn't done before. Maybe they figured it wouldn't be abused, the system, when it came out a couple years ago, when they sort of revamped the system with Content ID. But that's important because I think that'll deter like probably 80 to 90% of the false claims right off the bat. Because if you realize it's a fool's errand to try to get free money, it ain't going to happen anymore. Sorry. You ain't getting that money for a few weeks before the disputes drop because you realize you have a bullshit claim. It's not going to happen. So that makes me obviously very, 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 very happy. And it doesn't even happen to me that often. It doesn't. But I've seen it happen to others. And those others are people, again, they're making their livelihood. And you can say, well, you're not supposed to make money on YouTube. People do. If you're okay with using the site, you shouldn't complain that much about it. But if people should be making money on YouTube, in your view, definitely people shouldn't be stealing money from others on YouTube. That shouldn't happen at all. So very, very happy about that change. So good on the YouTube president for basically moving on this